of myself. I know I've been introduced, but I'll do a quick introduction of myself again. So, who is Ogenero? So, the right pronunciation is Ogenero. Uh, People call me Nero because it's much easier to pronounce, and you don't get to, maybe when you get frustrated with calling Ogenero, you just throw away the the other part of the name and you start calling me Ogene. So, because I don't want people to call me God, Ogene means God in my language. We rather call us Nero. So, you could call me Ogenero if you can, or Nero, which is much preferable by several others. So, I am a certified transformation and productivity coach. An associate of the Chartered Institute of Mentoring and Coaching Nigeria, CIMCN. I'm a digital creator. I help brands and individuals create impactful digital assets. I'm an author of 2 published books and several other articles. So that is who I am. I'll be taking us and the topic turning what you already know, making money from what you already know. So I like starting with quotes. It helps us understand a particular topic clearly, quotes that are related to the topic we are discussing this evening. So this is a quote by Justin where she said, "Don't undervalue what you know. The internet doesn't need more geniuses. It needs people who can explain things simply and authentically." So don't undervalue what you know. As small as you think that thing you know is, there is someone who is in need of it. So don't belittle anything you know. So I want us to underline the word the internet. People need people who can explain things in simple terms, right? There's another quote here. Monetizing your knowledge is no longer about being the best. It is about being helpful, relatable, and visible. Again, underlining helpful, relatable, and visible. So you don't think what you know right now isn't um isn't in the framework of being monetized. Every knowledge, nothing is a waste. You just have to know how to make yourself visible and relatable. Every single thing you know is helpful. There's someone out there that needs it. This is by Amy Potterfield. Now, I also have my own quotes. So, teach what you know, package what you do, and sell who you have become. Underline what you know, underline know here, package, and become. So we'll be going through how to identify what you know, how to package it, and how to sell it in the course of my presentation. There's another quote I wrote: "In the digital world, the person who shows up consistently with value wins even without a certificate." Now, we all know before now, one of the criteria for you to get into uh, a career, you must be a graduate, you must have a certificate to your name. But now companies are not looking for those who graduated with first class only. They're not looking for those who have certificate. They are looking for those who can actually do something. So in the digital space, it is what you know and not the school you attended or the kind of certificate you have. You can have a third class, but what you know will actually sell you. And if you're consistent, a good example is the founder of Facebook, right? So before now, we all heard a story that he dropped out at a certain level, but then what he knows has opened a global market for him, and he has become a figure to reckon with, even generation after him. So let's get into it. What is digital value? Digital value is the knowledge, the skills, and experience that you've gathered over time. So, what you've learned, be it in your school, the skill you've learned, or the experience you've gathered in your workplace, they all come together to form a digital asset. That is digital value. Because if you put all of these things online, in the cloud there, other people can access them. They become digital assets. People all over the world can access this. To me, access is rather. So you have perhaps you wrote a code I believe we are mostly tech stars here. So you wrote the code and you hosted it somewhere in your GitHub or something, and other people have access to it. It has become something of digital value that solves people's problem. So people are not just interested in buying products only now. They're also interested in buying solution and insight. So we are living in a world where there are a lot of problems to be solved in people's place of work, in people's businesses, career, academics. People are looking for solutions every day on the internet because we're in the jet age. And when people are looking for solutions, the first place they want to go to is the internet. So people want to buy solution, they want to buy insight. And that thing, you can package it and put it in the internet, and people who are looking for this solution, they will have access to it and they will pay you to get it. So you're more valuable than what you think. You just need to know how to package it. Now, during the course of the week, I heard someone say that there's a particular course that teaches people how to download images from Pinterest. And I was like, that course will, how to download image from Pinterest, it will take you more than just to click. So, but why is someone packaging it? And the way the person packaged it, anybody that does not know how to and has been struggling to get images from Pinterest will pay for that course. We're selling that course for 5,000 naira. But then it occurred to me also that because we've trivialized so many things we know, we now think that other people will not need them. But the truth of the matter is that there is a large percentage of people that need the small thing you think you know. No matter how irrelevant you think it is, there's a large percentage of people who are in need of it. So um, no matter how little you think what you know is, it depends on how you package it. You package yourself, you put it out there, people will buy it. So why are we talking about packaging yourself? Why are we talking about um digitizing your knowledge? Number one is the rise of the knowledge economy. People want to know. People are looking for solutions every day to solve their problems. So with the way the knowledge economy is now, once anybody is looking for anything, it goes online, goes to YouTube, or maybe just Google it. Then there's also the shift from the 9 to 5 dependency to digital independence. So many persons now they don't want to work for anybody. They're tired of the 9 to 5. They want to be their own boss. They want to freelance. And these people, they would need a whole lot of resources for them to be able to achieve this. And that is where you come in. The skills, the knowledge, the experience you've gathered over time would help these persons who will go online to search for these things to be able to survive. Number three, there are different platforms that has made digital knowledge so uh, attractive to people. So it's easy to access now. It's easy for you to uh, access a course online. It's easy for you to access a training online. It's easy for you to access a piece of information online. So all of this platform makes it really attractive for people to go online to search for information. And that is why we need to seize the opportunity and start selling our knowledge, our experience, and our skills online. Then we also have AI. AI is making creation and scaling things and scaling easier by the day. Now they can make a complete video from scratch to finish. And if you're not careful, you think it's an original piece. So all of these is enough reason why we need to put in our skills, our knowledge, and our experience out there and monetize it and start earning from them. So how do you know what you already know? Okay, well, let me put it this way. What do you already know? Let me ask the question direct. What do you already know? You might be thinking, do I really have anything? Do I have any knowledge to sell? Will people really buy anything from me? Everybody is selling online. Why is it me that they will want to buy from? But we are all distinct. We are all different. We all have uh unique ways. Even if we have the same set of skills, we all have unique ways we can go about that. So you need to ask yourself these questions. What do people ask me for help with? Now, there's nobody that's an island. There's nobody that is so dumb that doesn't know something. There must be something someone in your circle is asking you about. Someone will be there is a particular thing when people need it, they run to you for help. So you ask yourself this question: what do people always ask my help with? Could it be that you are so smart in finding shortcuts to anything? When I mean shortcut, maybe you're working on a project in your system, you are very good with shortcuts. You instead of going to the longer route, you can always find a way to just do control something. You know, there are persons that don't know all of these shortcuts. So do you know you could just say, okay, since people are already asking me what's the shortcut to go around this thing, you could package this into a course and just maybe package it as 50 shortcuts to blah 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 XYZ. You understand? And that is already a course you could be selling. So that's one aspect. So you could be someone that just have a way to fix any problem. People always come to you to fix their problem. You could package it into a product or a service. Number three, ask yourself, what skills have I mastered? Now, for all of us in the tech space, or not even in tech space, there's a skill, a particular skill that we've mastered so well. So ask yourself, what is that skill you could do that even when they tap you from your sleep, you could easily attend to it? Then number three, what challenge have I solved? So ask yourself these three questions. What do people always ask me for help with? What skills you've gathered over the years? And what challenge you've solved? All of these things, when you package them, will lead to you package them and you monetize them. You bring more money to your pocket. So your skills, your passion, you take it to the market and you get money. That's what this Venn diagram is saying. So your skill, you could package your skill, you could package your passion, and you sell all this, it brings money to your pocket. So you get people who you just have passion to speak and they just package it and people invite them for different events, and that's just how they make their money. They know how to speak. They have a good control over public speaking. Now, there are people who have passion to draw, for instance, and they just turn it into a market where they sketch very attractive stuff, make it into a picture frame, and they sell it. So your skill, your passion, when you take them to the market, they bring you a lot of profit. So ask yourself, what are you passionate about? What do people ask you about for help with? And how you can turn all of these skills into profit, into a profit making venture. So what are the ways to monetize your knowledge digitally? Number one, through products. So what you know could come in the form of products. It could be books, it could be ebooks. So take for instance, you have an idea of how to uh, process a visa, process visa for people who want to travel. Do you know that instead of all the time you realize, okay, you realize that you've done it for one person, you've done it for a friend, you've done it for a family member, and people always come to you. That family member or that friend recommends you to somebody else. They come to you, they ask you, how did you do this? How did you do that? Now you could decide to say, since your approach, your process has worked for several people, you could decide to package everything and turn it into a book or an ebook, and you sell it. Because you know the Bible says the gift of a man will make way for him. So that is your gift. You already have this knowledge out of experience, or maybe by investing in books or training, you could package all of this into an ebook, or you could package into a book and you sell it. Or it could even be in form of templates. Just take for instance, as a maybe a developer, you've done setting, or a web designer, you've designed a lot of sign-up page, for instance. Let's say you built over 20 websites where you've designed over 20 sign-up pages, and you could just, you know, take each of these codes and package them into a template that you could sell. I know you might have come across stuff like that. Even as a designer, all of your designs, you could repackage them and sell them as template that people could easily edit and people could easily edit and model into their own. So I know you might have seen adverts like uh, 50 social media posts for sales, things like that. People sell their work in form of template. There are people who are willing and ready to buy those templates because we're living in a time where people need their stuff done very fast. So when they have a template already on ground, they are willing to buy it. So there are different things you could actually do to your knowledge, to the experience you have. You package them into products and upload them to the cloud, and people are willing to buy these things. It could come in form of service as well. It will come in form of service as well. So you could also, uh, instead of you know answering people that comes to your DM to say, "How did you do this? How did you do that?" You could tell them you actually run a consulting company. So instead of just giving that information for free, you could as well package yourself in such a way that you say, okay, this you run a consulting service, they want this information, you charge so amount for 1 hour of your time. So instead of just answering someone that comes to your DM to ask for a specific information, you could package yourself as a consultant in that area. You could package yourself as a consultant, for instance. Maybe you are into real estate and you know a thing or two on how one could get a land, how one could get the approvals from the right agencies, how one could secure the land. People will come to you and say, okay, what's the best place to buy from? What's the best real estate company to buy from? All of these, you package them and you present them as a consultant. So it's a service. It could also come in form of mentoring. So there are people maybe that are looking into getting into your field that like okay, let's say they're trying to transition into tech, and you've been there for a while. You know some do's and don'ts. You know some easy way around it. You could actually meet and this people come to you, or you could actually create a mentorship course around it, like 3 easy steps to get into tech, for instance. Get mentored as a uh, beginner in tech. These are services that you could charge for a fee. And freelance is another type of service that you can offer. We all know the platforms we can use to apply at freelance as tech stars. You could also build a community, paid groups. You could decide to do a WhatsApp group or a Telegram group, and you bring people, professionals, into the community, and maybe you're sharing ideas, you're sharing job opportunities, you're sharing hacks on how they can succeed in a particular industry. And you charge a particular amount for people to get into the groups, or you could even segmentize those groups to say, okay, for this particular group, if you want to XYZ access, you pay certain amounts. If you want just a limited number of service, you pay certain amounts. These groups where knowledge are being shared, meaningful resources that will help people in your career space. You could create communities around that, and people pay to to be a part of it, to be members of this community. So what you already know how to um let's say uh do a WordPress website, for instance. You could create a community that you call uh you just give it a name you want, but everything that goes on there is how people can develop a WordPress site, how they can, um navigate through the challenges that come with it. You're sharing tips, or maybe you are inviting experts from the industry to drop hints, to do seminars and presentations, and you charge a particular fee for people to be part of these communities. Now, there are other platforms too that you could also use: YouTube, Substack, Seller. These are platforms you could use to sell what you already know. You could go on YouTube, for instance, and you talk about your skill. You talk about something that you are very good at, and you can even monetize that thing on YouTube, and you'll be paid. You could use Selar where you have a product, either an ebook or a physical book. You could use Selar to sell it. So, like I mentioned earlier, I give an example here. So you could share all the work you've done. You could compile of them into a template. You upload them to your GitHub, and you present and you put a particular amount to it. People are willing to buy all of these things because you've already done the work. Theirs is just to implement and fine tune to how they want it. Are we following, please? Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we are, sir.
All right. So I just want to make sure that carrying everybody along. So the tools you can use to share your knowledge. Number one, you could create a product using Canva. Now, Canva is a platform that you could use to do several things. If you are not a designer, you're not a video editor, you are not a web designer, Canva will come in handy. So let's say you want to sell, you write poems, for instance. You want to sell it. You could use Canva to create designs. You could use Canva to create videos. You could use Canva to even do a landing page. So you could use Canva to do all of this, or you want to even sell some set of codes, and perhaps you don't have the funds to pay a designer. Canva will come in handy for you. So there are a whole lot of resources you could use to create. You could use Canva. You could use the script. You could use Notion, and you also have Chat GPT to your rescue there. Now, after creating all of this, the next thing is to package it. Now, because I believe that I was going to speak to Techstars, I narrowed it down to tech related stuff. So there are different things you could use to package your products very well. So let me just speak in general terms. Let's say you have an idea that you've written into a book. Of course, if you've used Canva to design the cover, use Canva to design the pages. Now you need to package it in such a way that people will see it as a brand. So one of the things that um, we miss out on is that we don't package it in such a way when people see it, they'll be willing to pay money for it. So you've written a book, you could also package it in such a way that it's seen as a global product. And the book, you can place it on Amazon, place it on Seller, place it on other platforms that sell such digital products. And when they see it, they know that, okay, you actually put in the work. Now, there are different places you could also sell. After packaging, you sell. You could sell using Paystack, using Seller, Amazon, as I mentioned, Jumia, Gigi, or even one-on-one marketing. So you create a product, you package it, and you sell it. So it could be that you're just selling how to jackpot, for instance. There's a way you package the design, package the testimonies of people who you've helped, and put a price tag to it because there are testimonials from people who have used it and has worked for them. You know, the testimonials alone is the packaging around it. So it will be quite easy to sell because people can see that it has worked for other people. So when you're saying you're sharing, you're selling tips on how to jackpot easily, people are will be willing to buy it. And there are other tools you could also use to promote. So there are four steps. You create the package, you sell, and you promote. You could use social media pages to promote your products. You could use LinkedIn. You could write an article. You could write a newsletter. You do a post on LinkedIn telling the audience about that particular product or service you're selling. You could make a tweet on X. You could do email marketing. You could do newsletter. You could run ads on Meta, as Instagram and Facebook, and word of mouth. You tell people one-on-one. You have certain products, XYZ product, how to do this, how to do that, how not to do this. Just create the products you've created around your knowledge. Now, let's look at a step-by-step framework on how you turn knowledge to digital value, then it becomes a source of income. So, number one, like I said, you need to know what people ask you all the time, what people are always coming to you for help for. So when you identify your knowledge, you know what you are good at. You choose a format to sell it. Do you want to sell it as a product, as a physical product, or an electronic product? Or do you want to sell it as a service? Do you want to run a consultancy firm, a mentorship club, or you want to run a community that people can be paid members to? So you identify what you're very good at, choose a format to sell it. Either you're packaging it as an ebook, you're packaging it as a book, or you're packaging it as a video or animated video, or you're packaging it as a consultancy firm, or you're packaging it as a mentorship hub. Now build a brand around it. That's the next framework. When we talk about brand, what comes to mind most of the time is people think it's just all about logo. But branding is more than just having a logo. So build a brand around it means you'll be looking at a particular color when um your product appears before people. What color do they see? You know, you have to choose a color, you have to choose a name, you have to choose kind of typography you want to use, you have to choose your logo and stay consistent with this. So when people see this, know that okay, you're building a brand around this product, that they can identify the product wherever they see it. So identify your knowledge, choose a format, build a brand around it. This is the step from moving from knowledge to digital value to income. Now, market and build trust. Now, trust is very important for people to buy from you. Most of the times, they don't buy the product, they buy the person behind the product. So people need to trust you as a person. Your words should be your brand. When you say you're going to deliver a particular service at a particular time, you should deliver at that time. When you say you're going to show up at a particular time, you should show up at that particular time. People will begin to trust you. So when you are selling something to them, wherever they know that okay, what you're giving out is something of value, because over time you've been able to secure their trust. So when you go to the market and you're trustworthy, people would want to buy from you. When you say you're going to put out something, put it out by that time, right? Then you cannot launch out a product, test it among people. When people use it, they come back to say, okay, they actually, it actually worked for them. You say maybe you're putting out 6 steps on how to achieve X, Y, Z. You put it out there. People use it, they implement it, and it works for them. People will come back to testify of how the product was able to help them. So the step-by-step framework is identify what you're very good at, choose a format to put it out there, build a brand around it, then build trust, then you can launch out. Now, how do you build trust? Trust is very important in this line of business, in selling our knowledge digital as a digital asset. You need to build trust and influence. Number one, you need to share your voice on the platform. So, like I said earlier, people buy from people they know and they trust. So they buy the person before they even buy the product. So you need to put your voice out there. So you not just come out and start advertising the product. You that is selling the product, you that is the owner, the author of that product, you need to come out as well. You need to advertise yourself as much as you're advertising the product. They need to know the person behind it, the voice behind it, and that they will be able to trust the product. Like, okay, they are seeing this person, so they'll be willing to buy from the person, even if it is their first time, because they already know the person. So if you know you want to sell digital product, you need to start putting yourself out there as often as possible so that people can trust you, trust the brand, and trust the product. Number two, you have to document your process. So people will trust that product if they see the steps you took in building it from start to finish. You can document it, and once in a while you put it out there. I take, for instance, you're writing a book, for instance. You could put it out there that okay, you have an idea to write this book. This is the topic. Maybe when you design the book cover, you put it out there that you choose A or B, which of the options work best. No, that's the process. You printed, you show it to them that okay, you've printed all your editing, you show it to the audience that you're editing. So people know that you're building something and they're following the process. And when the product is out finally, they will be willing to make a purchase. Number three, give value before asking for money. It's very important. Now, one of the ways people get to trust you, you don't just come into their faces and you're asking for money immediately. So, what I advise most of the time is when you want to sell a digital product, the first thing you do, you have to build a community that you're always giving something of value. That value could come in form of maybe you're sending a regular email with helpful tips. So maybe as a graphic designer, for instance, you're putting out tips on how to shortcuts and tricks that designers, upcoming designers could use to achieve certain things that you've done. You put out your process there, how you were able to achieve certain things. You're giving it out for free, and maybe there's a particular course you've paid for, you've used, and you also have access for other people to use. Give it out there for people to use. You're giving them things for free. When you finally put out your product that they need to buy because they've consumed a lot of free content from you, they'll be willing to buy this product. So first of all, you build a community. What some persons do, they can create WhatsApp or Telegram groups and have people join this hub, and they constantly drop resourceful materials in these groups. And people are constantly feeding very well with these helpful resources while they are building a product they want to sell. And by the time they launch out, people will be willing to give value and give money, part with their money for that value you're sharing, because over time you've been giving them free resources. Now, positioning is very important. You need to know how to put your brand, put your voice out there on all of your social media pages, because you're selling digitally now. All the platforms that help to sell digital products. I mentioned earlier, we have Amazon, we have Selar, we have Jumia, we have JG. There are different platforms that you could put your products and people could have access to, even on YouTube. So, for instance, you want to sell a product online, you could do free courses on YouTube. You could be giving free courses on YouTube. You're positioning yourself there. When people search for something, a solution, you are out there. You appear on the feed. So when you finally start selling a solution, because you've given solutions over time on YouTube, when people see your paid course or a paid bootcamp, they'll be willing to sign up for it. So positioning leads to perfection. You may not be so perfect now, but just keep showing up, be consistent, and very soon you're going to be perfect in what you are selling. Now, common pitfalls to avoid when building a digital product. When you're waiting for perfection, it's a pitfall. Avoid waiting for perfection. No one is perfect. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to be consistent, and consistency leads to progress. So the goal is to remain consistent and to make progress. So if you do something wrong now, you do something that is not so top notch, still put it out there. With time, as you do it again, you get better at it. Because if you say you want to wait till when you get it right, till you're perfect before you put out your products, you will never put it out, because you will never be satisfied with what you're doing, because you're comparing it with somebody else. So don't wait for perfection. Number two, overthinking monetization. You think that, is this thing that I want to put out, is it of value? Like I told you, someone was selling how to save images from Pinterest, and people bought that course. A lot of persons bought that course for 5,000 naira. So imagine that person selling that course for 5,000 to over 100 people. Imagine how much the person has made from just 2 clicks. So, but there's a way you package it, and it's going to look attractive to people who don't know how to read. And trust me, there are a lot of persons that want to know that little thing that you think you know. So stop overthinking it. Whatever thing you know now, put it out there and you can monetize it. Ignoring your personal brand is another pitfall you should avoid. It's very important. Like I said, people will buy from the person than buy the person before buying the product. So with the way you package yourself as an expert, as a global figure, people would trust you and would want to buy from you. Also, avoid underpricing or giving too much for free. Yes, I know that I said we should give out free resources to build trust, but you need to know what you're to give out for free and what you're not to give out for free. Take, for instance, you wrote a book, you could decide to say you want to give out the introduction for free. introduction is so powerful, gives an insight to what the entire book is all about, people will be willing to buy the entire book when they've read the introduction. So don't underprice your products. You could do a benchmark with people that are already in the same field as you and do a little just below what they are offering since you're just coming into the industry. So, but don't do somewhere that maybe someone is selling a particular course for 5,000 and you not say, oh, because you want to make a lot of sales, you will not sell for 1,000 naira. Yeah, I know a lot of persons will come to you, but then you are underselling your knowledge that you've gotten over the years. Now, quickly, I want to challenge us. I'm trying to rush so that we don't stay here more than 9 o'clock because we spent too much time already. I want to challenge us to do a 30-day challenge. Now, you pick up one skill, something you know how to do very well. It could be writing, it could be cooking. Do you know you could package the act of cooking into a course or into an ebook, into a video course or into an ebook, even if it's cooking? Or you could even package the act, maybe you know how to clean very well. You could package cleaning into a course. There are people who find it very difficult to clean their space. So you could just do it, package it the way that it will be attractive. 10 easy steps to clean your room without moving an inch. Something like that is very attractive. People will like, okay, so let me see. You could package that. So whatever you know you can do very well, no matter how uh what's the word now? No matter how minute it may seem, no matter how irrelevant it may seem, there's someone who is looking out for it. Because in today's age, anybody that is looking for anything, the first place they want to go to is the internet. And if you have a course for that, you'll be selling already. So pick a skill, package it digitally, share it online, create payment links, and you'll see that you're solving a problem. For every solution you see today, someone sat down, thought about a solution, thought about the problem, thought about ways they can approach the problem and offer solution to it. Every solution we're using today is someone that sat down, identified that this is a problem faced by people, and they brought a solution to it. So I want you to pick a skill, package it digitally, then share it online, create a payment link, and see how people would engage it. So final take is that your knowledge is a currency. Whatever you know is a currency. There are people willing to pay money for it just for you to package to the right audience and you're able to sell. So don't bury it, digitize it, monetize it. I know I've been talking tech since that's why I had to come down to cooking, cleaning, whatever it is you know how to do very well. You could package it into an online course. And I've given the tools that you use. So the problem you solved yesterday is someone else's paid solution today. So you solved the problem today, you're working on a project and you solved it, you find the hack, sell it because someone is looking for it tomorrow. So thank you everyone for listening. If you have any questions, we could ask now. Yes. Are
Thank
we here?
you very much. Yes, Ranero. Thank you very, very much for being, you know, real about this topic. And just to add to what Ranero has shared, um, the thing is, right now in this in the space that we have, AI can help you with a lot of things. And you might be asking, okay, how do I go about this? Where do I start from? It gives some examples like Canva. I know the beautiful part of it is that Canva now has AI embedded in it. So you can do a lot with it. It's just for you to sit down. You can even ask ChatGPT that, okay, I have this passion. I know this. Where do I start from? Do you understand? So I don't want you to feel that, oh, what our brother has said, it looks difficult. Trust me, it's not difficult. You just have to start. And we start from documenting, right? You need to start from documenting. There is no knowledge. Everyone needs to learn one thing. Just like why Bonero was, speaking. I remembered, he made an example with immigration. Somebody was telling how to write I don't know, is it proposal or something to get scholarship to study in schools. And he was selling it then for $30. And trust me, people were buying it. or also immigrate to Canada because of those things. So that's just an example that that people you already know, how what they call it, how you got the knowledge, what you had to invest in yourself to gain that knowledge, and you want people to learn. You feel that people can also learn from it. It just starts with you writing those things down and then follow the steps that our brother has shared with you. So thank you very much, Brunel, for that wonderful presentation. That was spot on. Thank you. Please, do we have questions? Questions. Please ask questions, right? Ask questions. If anyone have questions or what is said, you already know. Eh? I want to. Can we ask a question? Anyone? Anyone? Okay. Anybody? Hey, the room is quiet. Okay, so let me ask somebody from all that we learned today. What is that one thing that stick out for you? You don't have questions. Me, I will ask you questions. So from like I said, we don't want you to just be here. We want you to ensure that whatever you've learned here, you can also practice it after now. So from what I know Abra has said in the last 45, 40 minutes, what was that one thing that stick out for you that you can say, oh, I'm after this meeting, I'm going to put this into practice. Anyone? I'll call Lenzo. Okay. I think I'm going to call name. Let me look at. Okay. Iyola Olamoju. I hope I got the name right. Hello, Iyola, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So I asked the question. I don't know if you got my question. Do you want me to repeat it again?
Yeah, I got it right. So,
Okay.
the one thing
Mm.
that struck me was the quote that Brunero said that we should teach what we know, package what we do, and sell what we have become.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much, for sharing. Okay, anybody wants to take a bold step, or do I need to call another name? Anyone? Okay. But Clement, do you want to share?
Here and good evening, everyone. Thank you, Bronero, for that which you've shared. It was great delivery. Thank you. All right. So, we said that the little thing that you feel does not make sense to you, there are a lot of people who will be willing to pay for that, and I think um that was really profound. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bro Clement. Okay, so before I ask um more feedbacks, but now I'd like to ask, okay, so for people who, yes, they might be knowledgeable or they have passion, but they sort of have self-doubts, right? How do they deal with self-doubts? The feeling that what I know isn't enough to charge for. Do you understand? So how do we address this the mentality or mindset?
Okay, so the first thing I want to say to such people is that there's nobody who is so dumb. It's just a limiting belief. And first thing, you need to overcome that limiting belief. As Christians, we are more than enough. We have greatness inside of us. We've been prepared for good work before we were born. So have this mindset that you are capable of doing great things. That's the first thing. Sometimes you feel like it's an imposter syndrome because there are people in your field, in that field, that are way better than you. You think that you're not there. So why do you think you have the right to sell it? But also know that we all know in parts that people you are looking up to, they know better. You know certain things. There are people who don't know. So they don't know as much as you know, don't know up to your level. So you need to take confidence of that fact and pull down that limiting belief. So, but if you still feel like, okay, you're not confident of yourself, you can surround yourself with people who would encourage you and they will help you to put what you know together. Maybe you don't know how to put it together. Maybe the limiting belief is you don't know how to put it together. If it's going to be of standard, if it's going to be of, if it's going to be packaged in a way that it will be appealing to people, that is where you need a good support system, a good board of advisors, I would like to call it, that would help you to put these ideas you have scattered in your mind that you don't know how to arrange, put them together, and you cannot package it and sell. But what is most important for such people is to know that there are no stupid ideas. It's how you package it that matter. And we are created for great things. So everything that we think of is for great things. Is how we package it. So just have that mentality, have that school of thought, then we're able to overcome that imposter syndrome or not being enough syndrome. I don't know if that answers the question.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, let me look at who again I want to call. So, because somebody is raising his hand or her hand. Please go. I see a lot of Bolu Brimo. That's because we shared a particular link. Anyway, so please just unmute yourself and speak. Hello. We can't hear you in case you are speaking.
Or maybe can you help to unmute the person?
Baby. Oh, they are not on mute. Wow. Okay. But please, can you help me to unmute the person?
Okay, the person should please raise up their hand.
Okay, so can you raise up your hand again so that he can unmute you? Oh, somebody wrote, I have learned that I am not empty, fantastic, that there is something valuable I can offer to others. Thank you so much for the insightful session. Thank you so much for sharing also. Again, the same person said, I do not have to wait for perfection exactly before putting out what I know. With time, it will get better.
Get
Yes,
better.
that's
Let's put
what
that there.
all.
Progress is what is important. You're making progress and you're getting better at it every day as you do it.
Yes. Thank you. Another person mentioned that thank you very much. This session was loaded and it reinforced some lessons I learned years back from the likes of Gary V and Neil Patel. And I also gained some new knowledge. Wow, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. This is just letting us know that we're doing the right and on the right course. So thank you for sharing that feedback. Okay, and the person wanted to speak. Are you able to speak now? Can you speak? Hello?
So
Is it terrible?
I've asked, I think it might be a gadget problem, either the mic or the phone itself. Might be a gadget problem.
Can you just type?
Yeah,
That
I'm
type
fine.
of question. Yeah, exactly. That type of question. Okay, so one last question, for calculator. Please, for sure, that, we work 9 to 5, right? And we also learn how we can, also monetize, and that's like let me say, our personal business and all of that. So, how do we balance, our 9 to 5 with trying to earn from the skills on the side?
Okay, very important question. And I think I can answer that because I do a 9 to 5 and I also earn on the side. So, by the side too. So, I think it's a matter of sacrifice, right? It's a matter of sacrifice because 9 to 5, and we're in Lagos, there's traffic in the morning, there's traffic in the evening. You get home, you're so tired. Maybe you set out to do something and you're so tired. So, but what you could do is first of all have a goal. You know you want to do something. You know what you want to achieve by end of the month, for instance. Maybe that's your target. Then you need to break it down into smaller steps. So you may not just do everything at once. So take for instance, you want to, how will I use now? Let's say you want to go into writing go into writing an ebook for immigration, for instance, how to travel, how to secure funding and get admitted into a UK university, for instance. And there are a lot of research you need to make. You need to write it down. You need to document it. You need to maybe design it on Canva. You need to do all of those packaging, then uploading it on the platform where you want to sell. How do you do that? You have a 9 to 5. You're so busy. There's traffic. When you get home by 9 o'clock, you're tired. You want to sleep. Sacrifice. That's what I mentioned. Things will not always be easy, but those who are committed, who are dedicated, who are focused on the goal will always succeed. So we shouldn't use the excuse. I can say this because it's something I do also. I do a 9 to 5 and I do a whole lot of other things. But we shouldn't use the excuse of the stress that we go through with our 9 to 5 to stop us from doing all of this. Like I said, you break it into smaller goals. You could say, like for instance, if you get to the office earlier than your resumption time, you could take out 30 minutes to do something. If you have an hour break, you could take out 30 minutes to do something else. If you get home 9 o'clock, you can take another 30 minutes to do something. Then how about your weekends? You need to cut a lot of time consuming activities. Anything that is not driving you towards your purpose, your focus, you need to cut it out, right? Because you are going somewhere. It could be maybe you're spending weekends, you're spending a lot of time watching movies on Netflix, or maybe you're visiting friends, or you're sleeping. Yes, you need to sleep, you need to rest, but you just need to segment all of this into different time blocks to say, okay, if it's 30 minutes, if it's 1 hour, I'm giving to it every day. These are little steps, but they are driving you towards achieving your purpose in the long run. I do a 9 to 5. I work on the island. I live in a corridor here. I wake up 4 o'clock every day. I get to the office. I wake up. I wake up 4. I leave the house by 5. I get to the office by say roughly past 6. Work does not resume until 8 a.m. in most cases. But when I get to the office, at least an hour I spend it in doing my own personal stuff. Right? I could be designing something. I could be writing something. I could be doing a video, my personal stuff, right, for that 1 hour before work start. Another 1 hour of my break, I could decide to say, I'm not going to eat. I just want to finish this thing. Right? And when I get home, I spend at least 1 hour to work on that project. So yeah, I could relate that it could be demanding, could be stressful, but then these are the sacrifices we need to make if we really want to go into what we want to go into. If we have our focus in mind that okay, someday we are going to resign from our 9 to 5. Yes, there's a way you will grow, your business will grow, your product will grow, that you don't need your 9 to 5 again. But now you still need to build with the 9 to 5. Your 9 to 5 is sustaining this product you're building. And when it is sufficient enough, you cannot pull out of your 9 to 5. But then you have to make all of these sacrifices. You sacrifice is just making sacrifices is the major thing to scale in this line of work. They're doing a 9 to 5 and you want to build a product or a service. And remaining dedicated to it, committed to it.
Thank you, Brunero. Thank you. Yeah, so you've heard it all. And just, to add to what he has mentioned, time management. I remember someone asking me that, okay, how do I do all of the things I do despite, my busy schedule? It's just about time management, right? So there are some times that you have some free time. That's free time. What are you need to do? Are you need to do something productive? Or you need to do something that is unproductive. So you have to prioritize, your goal. You have to prioritize your vision. You have to prioritize whatever it is that you want to achieve. Those goals, those objectives, you have to prioritize them over things that, yeah, they are good, but not saying they're not good. Do you understand? But what's your time at that time? What impact will it have on that vision you written, some months ago? Do you understand? So it all boils down to time management. It all boils down to resilience. It all boils down to sacrifice, and it all boils down to being focused. So thank you very much, for Nero. Another person wanted to share that. Okay, the person is still raising his hand. Okay, can you speak now? Okay, I
Yes,
think
I can
okay, so
still.
you can.
Apologies.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, apologies for that. I had to go and adjust the settings for my microphone. My name is Babajide. I was going to ask. I know majority of us. What's actually debar us from moving further in getting all some of all these things, but knowing fully well that the general world has even given us the platform, having the likes of Canva and some other tools that could help us, generate some of all these things, then put them out there. But I think one major factor is the fear of failure. How do we how do we address this? Me in particular, sometimes I would have done a lot of things, use my ChatGPT to adjust it. I'll just put it down there, like, okay, I want to post this, I want to work on this. And then I found myself helping people, helping businesses. And eventually they come back to meet me and say, thank you. My friend, thank you. You've been able to help me do this. I've been able to do this because of this, because of your input, because of this you have shown me to do, And then I think about 6, 7 years ago, I created an Instagram handle called something business consultants, blah, 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 blah. I still have that thing up till tomorrow, and then I start asking myself, why have I not started? Why have I not started working on this? Why have I not started doing something relating to this? But I could help my friends sort this out. I can help them still do this and they will get results. But then I realized that sometimes I start thinking of what if I start and I fail? So my question is, how do we work on this fear of failure or fear of unknown, in taking the bold step? Thank you.
Okay, so all right, thank you very much for that question. It's a very valid one. From what you just spoke about, it's like you should be doing consulting right now, right? That's what you should be doing because you have this knowledge, practical knowledge that people have implemented and their results. You have their testimonials and all of these things. Those are resources that you could actually use. Now, the truth about failure is that the fact that you failed today does not mean that you are a failure. You just failed in doing something. It means you could try again. You can fail again, but you will try again. And each time you try and you're failing in code, because that thing you're calling a failure is you measuring it by the success of other people. The success of other people is not your success. So you're just seeing it a failure. Doesn't mean it's actually a failure. Something just failed. So maybe you're not satisfied with it yet. So you need to go back at it and look at it. What did you do and what can you do differently? People in this field, what are they doing that is making them better, and try to implement it. But the fact that you failed now does not mean that you are a failure. You're not a failure. You just did not succeed in that first instance. Electricity that we're enjoying today, the person that did it tried it over 10,000 times before he got it. So that person did not give it. That person can do 10,000 times. I'm not sure that you failed up to 2 times that you're already giving up that. Let me not just venture into this thing because I'm going to fail. But what is important is that, yes, as people who are working 9 to 5 and we have a calling, we have a goal, we have a passion to do other things, we shouldn't just leave our 9 to 5 yet, like I mentioned earlier, because your 9 to 5 is going to be the fuel that we fuel this passion, right? It's going to fuel the passion you have. So even maybe you set that first and you're not making profits at the initial stage, consistency. There's no one person that you see that you're admiring today that just came up and the person just blew up like that. They started from the scratch. Some of them were struggling at the initial phase and they are enjoying that. And the problem is we most time measure ourselves with people who are started 10 to 15 years ago. There's no person that is in the limelight now. I just came up. They've been somewhere 10, 15 years, 20 years ago. They've been building. And when it's time for their breakthrough, we now measure ourselves that we're just starting with them that have been there for a very long time. Consistency is very important. So just keep trying, keep making adjustments. Like I said, you don't have to be perfect. The important thing is making progress. Progress might not be money now, but in the long run, it is going to translate to money because you've been there. You've been learning from your experience. In fact, it's all of those experiences now that you can now even package and sell out to people that are just coming into the industry. because you've learned this thing, you've expressed it yourself. You could package it into a course, you could package it into a training, and you charge people to come and learn, and other people will avoid those pitfalls that you already made. So first of all, kick it out. Don't measure your success with people out there. Don't leave your 9 to 5 just yet while you're still building something. It is the fuel that will push the passion. I don't know if that answers the question. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, yes, I appreciate that. It's quite insightful. Thank you very much, Ranero.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay. Thank you very much. We're going to be wrapping this now. Thank you to Bronero for answering our questions. Thank you to everyone who listened and who have stayed till this time. I see Pastor Pikesho on the call. Pikesho, good evening, sir. Thank you for coming and supporting us. We appreciate your presence, sir.
Glad to be here. Thank you. And well done, guys.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, so we're going to be bringing this to a close now. So we had about 50 registration people that registered, but we had less than 20 on the call. Well, we won't give up, right? We won't give up. We'll keep, the vision of just, creating a platform where people can learn, because that's what the level thing is about, where you can learn and it's totally free. Our next series is going to be next month, and we're going to be discussing an interesting topic. Trust me, you want to attend the next one. So with this, yeah, you're welcome. On this note, I'd like to bring this session to an end. A big thank you again to our facilitator. Thank you very much for your time and for the knowledge you've passed across this evening. Thank you, and thank you to everyone again. Please, till next time, enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye for now.